Let's get into some topics. And this is the big one of the day, which is the 2026 Neil Mohan letter to YouTube. Neil Mohan is the CEO of YouTube. He posts an annual letter every year. It was a huge deal for us last year as we started learning about TV content and the way that YouTube was taking over the TV space. It showed us why vlogging was being so successful, of course, near and dear to our hearts as the proprietors of Vlogging Academy. And this year, I would say it's a little more spread out in terms of his focus. Last year was all about TV. This is a little more spread out, but he's got some big pillars that he's planting for the future because I think last year was such a big success. Any opening remarks before we get into each of the sections one by one?
Yeah, nothing really stood out for me, honestly. The only thing that, again, I'm interested in is TV, YouTube TV, and longer content. And the way he spoke about it, kind of like really being bold about its position, YouTube's position in just like the media world. Not just digital media, just media in general.
Period.
And so they're thinking big time, and I wouldn't be surprised if one day they'll get like playoffs on there.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, could you imagine like the Super Bowl?
Oh man,
something crazy like that. Well, you told me that's like a mafia thing or whatever. but still,
no, I believe that it will happen. By the way, I believe that it will happen someday.
Yeah, it might be years down the road or whatever, or in collaboration with one of these networks.
Oh, totally.
And it would be smart for one of the networks to team up, even though in a way they're going to kill themselves.
That's a conversation for another day, but maybe a conversation for now. I'm going to take it section by section. He has 4 main points that he's making, and each of those have subsections. So let's go ahead and start with number 1, which he titles Reinventing Entertainment. Creators are the new stars and studios. I'm just going to read directly from this and then we can react to it live. So the first section that he has under that number 1 is our creators and artists. And he says, viewers come to YouTube to immerse themselves in the biggest cultural moments. They want a front row seat to the Super Bowl action from creators like Jesser and Kay Adams, full red carpet coverage from the Oscars, and the immersive fandom experience surrounding a Taylor Swift or BTS album release. We offer it all. YouTubers are buying studio-sized lots in Hollywood and beyond to pioneer new formats and produce beautifully produced must-see TV. The era of dismissing this content as simply quote-unquote UGC is long over. These are shows built by creators who green light themselves. Look at Julian Shapiro Barnum. His upcoming series Outside Tonight is the first of its kind late-night experience built for the digital age. When creators hold the keys to their own production and distribution, the only limit is their imagination.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
Well, I've always said that YouTube is a great platform, serving their creators and always thinking about their creators. But you know what's crazy? The last few years, I feel like maybe there's this transition of leadership and strategy, a focus on shorts as well as like TV. They haven't been that for a while.
Interesting.
And in fact, I've seen, creators always complain about something, right? But I've seen more creators complain about YouTube in the last 12 months than I've ever seen it.
YouTubers or short form creators that are trying to move to YouTube?
No, long form.
Interesting.
Long form. And if short form creators complain about YouTube, they're complaining that long form is too hard or they don't know how to do it, and hence why they want to start vlogging or working with someone like me because they feel like it's this overwhelming thing. But no, generally speaking. So I wonder, because last year they had what's called the Creator Collective. They went to all 50 states, try to hit all these small communities and do these creator get-togethers. Basically, I hosted one of them in Seattle. But outside of that, there wasn't a lot. And I've noticed less and less of these, creator-based programs or events. They did do what do they call All In or Made on YouTube or something like that. I don't know. It's just like creator thing. But I've heard a lot. The reason I bring it up is I wonder, especially it's kind of a huge statement to make it number 1. They acknowledge creators. Because I've always said that is what makes YouTube successful at the highest level. Because what do we always say? Why is YouTube winning compared to Netflix? Why does YouTube kill all the other platforms? Because they have more creators creating free content, building the library, and he even said one big thing in there. They're building their own studios.
I know, that was a shock
right?
to me. Yeah.
To create content. And YouTube doesn't fund this, by the way. YouTube doesn't do anything special. And that's kind of my point. I've always said they should do even more because this is the heart and soul of this like free flowing, video, like tsunami that comes onto their platform. And it's for me. And I don't know if you watched that video or listened to it. One of the things they said that is amazing about YouTube from the very beginning, that it was free to upload to it.
Oh, interesting.
That they kept the platform free for people because it's not easy,
especially
hosting.
early on.
Yeah, especially early on. And I think it was like a losing thing, but they knew how important it was. And even to this day, the thing is like now we're getting into potentially 8K. I don't know if they're entertaining that, but it's definitely 4K, right?
Yeah.
And longer videos,
Yeah.
live streams. It's just crazy. So they already do a lot, but I think they could do a lot more. And I think creators were kind of not feeling like supported. So maybe this is like him saying, hey, we know how important you guys are and we want to acknowledge it. And hopefully they're going to do more.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting him bringing up, I mean, of course, this is his chance to talk about TV, but positioning creators as TV producers, basically. And the idea that they have control over their own production and that I was shocked to hear that the studio lot buying thing, I mean, they're going out in Hollywood and buying these lots and actually building out studios.
Probably because they're going out of business. These like studios that like the
Warner
the real
Brothers.
estate. Yeah, for real. They're like just buying it up. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, look at Mr. Beast studio. I think it's like a freaking factory over there.
And to me, that just shows you just how powerful last year's message was about the TV. And we'll continue talking about it on the show. Speaking of TV, the second bullet point under that, the second subheading was every format on every screen. He says, whether they're watching on a small screen in their hand or the largest screen in their home, viewers choose YouTube for an unmatched breadth of content. Long form, shorts, music videos, live streams, podcasts, and more. From niche interests to global trends, viewers are finding what they love on Shorts, which now averages 200 billion daily views. This year will bring even more variety to Shorts by integrating different formats like image posts directly into the feed, making it easier to stay connected with your favorite creators. We're also investing in music, whether it's helping you find your next go-to artist, uncovering the stories behind the songs that move you, or making it easier to discover the experience and experience new releases. YouTube has been #1 in streaming watch time in the US for nearly 3 years, according to Nielsen. YouTube is the new TV because creators are the new primetime. Ms. Rachel's 2 Children and Family Emmy nominations prove that creators are defining this next era of entertainment. It's a powerful start, but we need to see more recognition like this.
Yeah, in terms of like awards and highlighting them on mainstream.
Yeah.
It's interesting. They still are competing though with old guard. I mean, like on the Oscars.
Yes.
Or even the Grammys. Do you ever see digital creators on there? No, because that's still the old guard that determine like who gets awards or whatever. And to be fair, maybe it just doesn't compete with Hollywood or those bigger studios. So when he says, "Oh, we will like them to be highlighted," it's funny because for the YouTube community, for like social media creators, it's like the streamies. That's like our Grammys or whatever.
Or the Webbies.
Judy's been invited to that a couple times, but still, it's like puny, right? Only our community cares about it, but like the rest of the world probably didn't even know it existed. Yet YouTube and the creators on the platform represent like a lot of attention of people's day, you know? And so it is interesting that YouTube doesn't get its flowers and the creators don't get that recognition. But
the point, right, of this section being that the breadth of content that YouTube has is unmatched. And I think this is something you and I have talked a lot about. Long form shorts, music videos, live stream, podcasts, and more is what he says. I mean, it's just almost unreal, the fact that they're competing on all these fronts.
End to end, okay? When you wake up in the morning, you pop open your phone, all the way to when you're commuting to your work and you're listening to it while you're driving, to when you're escaping to lunchtime, you pop open your laptop, to when you get back home and you turn on the TV, every single device. And we have talked about this a lot because we, of course, love long form and live streaming, hence why we talk about vlogging a lot. But part of the reason why there's a lot of opportunities because they're going from one device to the next.
Yes.
Literally, they're going from like watching shorts on their thing to picking something they're going to watch in the car, and they transfer that. And especially if you're signed in
Yep.
or if you have YouTube Premium, it remembers where you're listening for. So it's just crazy to me because no other platform, no other streaming app has that behavior. And you should not, this is why, I mean, I should probably listen to my own advice. You should not sleep on doing other forms of content as well if you can. So you do shorts, right? You do the long form and potentially do live streaming. If you hit them all three places, you could create like super mega fans.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing to me is that the breadth that they talk about and the success across all those, they might not be number one in every single one of those, although they're number one in a lot of them. The breadth allows you to scale from beginning to end, from the smallest version of these things like shorts to the largest, which would be maybe like live streaming, podcasting, long form, and more. And to me, it also takes you from 0 viewers all the way up to potential Netflix shows that we've talked about in the past. And that's only possible because of the ubiquity that YouTube represents. And that's the shocking thing to me. And, you know, there's other things in here where they talk about like the nugget in there about them adding image posts to shorts, right? That's clear reaction to all of the other short form platforms that they're doing. But the fact that YouTube can get away with doing that, like what, 2 years late now, 3 years late now at this point, just shows you that they've got other fish to fry, honestly, at this point in time. And that's no excuse for them. They should definitely be on it better. I think shorts could be a much better product. But like it shows you that they have other things that are driving the business and that really all of these things allow you to post across any of them. Any final thoughts before I move on to the next sub point?
I mean, I'm telling you, YouTube has so much more upside. So if you start right now, no matter what the format is, it's looking really good. Really, really good.
The last sub point in that first section is YouTube TV, which is kind of interesting. So he's not talking about YouTube on the TV, but the YouTube TV cable streaming product that they offer. He says, building on our success in the living room, we're driven by the simple belief that TV should be easy. We'll soon launch fully customizable multi-view and more than 10 specialized YouTube TV plans spanning sports, entertainment, and news, all designed to give subscribers more control. YouTube has become the single best destination for viewers who want limitless ways to watch, and we're proud to build that very best experience for the next generation.
I mean, I think that YouTube already is the TV. You don't even need YouTube TV because like when I turn on the TV, I just go to YouTube app. The YouTube TV thing is interesting because that's a whole nother service that you have to not only sign up for, you have to pay for. I did have it for a while in the very beginning.
It's pretty good.
I never used it though.
Yeah.
Nothing against it. But it's interesting that this year's distinction is YouTube was dominating on the TV in 2025 and being like the focus. And now they're like going back to like, hey, YouTube TV proper and kind of bringing that up. I always thought it's a mistake to even have the distinction, but they kind of have to for the networks.
I think like
for the
rights
advertising and
Yeah.
negotiations that have that separation.
Yeah.
But I'm like, make it all one thing because it's confusing. If you don't know, then you don't even know. But yeah, again, just showing that YouTube can replace your cable.
Yeah, I mean, I think that ultimately that is the destination of both of them. Because guess what? I mean, when cable dies, right, which it actively is, right, what's going to replace it? It's going to be streaming, right? So YouTube kind of becomes the de facto replacement as cable continues to march downward. And they're sort of like, we're going to shepherd the new generation in, and we're always going to shepherd the old generation out. Just a couple of pieces of real-time follow-up before we get to the second section from Doc. He mentioned that the 2026 Creator Collective is in Milan, and that YouTube supports 8K uploads and playback now, and that the studio awards are primarily politics, is his comment as well. So let's move on to the second piece here that he notes, and it's actually, I'm imagining, near and dear to your heart, which is building the best place for kids and teens.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had a hand in this in the past, but I'm going to read from his thing first, and then I want to hear your story next. He says, kids and teens rely on YouTube to learn and connect both inside and outside of the classroom. According to a 2025 Kantar survey, 93% of 18 to 27-year-old viewers in the U.S. agree that YouTube helps them learn new skills. And according to a 2025 Oxford Economics survey, 79% of U.S. teachers who use YouTube agree that it helps students learn. Our goal is to ensure YouTube remains a place for exploration while empowering parents to guide the journey. When it comes to kids and teens, we have a strong track record of offering age-appropriate experiences, from the launch of the YouTube Kids app in 2015 to a supervised experience for preteens in 2021. This year, we'll make it easier for parents parents to set up a new kid account and easily switch between accounts, ensuring that everyone in the family is in the right viewing experience. Last week, we announced updates to strengthen and simplify parental controls, reflecting our core belief that parents should decide what's right for their families. Parents will soon be able to control how much time their kids and teens spend scrolling shorts, including setting the timer to 0, an industry first. This is all in service of empowering parents to protect their kids in the digital world, not from the digital world.
Yeah, so this is probably YouTube's biggest strength that nobody knows about. Think about TikTok, of course, Facebook and Instagram, Pinterest even. All of them have a kind of minimum age requirement because they're not made for kids. Decade ago now, probably a little bit more even then, YouTube decided, you know what? We're seeing kids consume content on our platform. So the product people knew, the analytics guys knew. So they would like do algorithm things to protect the kids, which is crazy because they didn't want any liability. Because YouTube is like freedom of speech type of platform. There's all kinds of stuff, if you really dig in, not appropriate for kids. So they thought, you know what? Both for the safety, but also for their benefit, let's make YouTube Kids. And the reason I know a lot about this is because I was on the parent panel that helped develop it, that like we were consultants in a way, or we were just like giving our feedback to the app, to the people making this new product. So it's called YouTube Kids. It's only for kids.
Yeah.
I think as young, I mean like really young, like toddler age, 5 to 7, 7 to 11, 11 to 13. And then after 13, they can watch regular YouTube. But it's a huge deal because what happens if you're a parent, you already know this, but if you're not a parent, you don't have kids, let me just tell you, when kids get a hold of YouTube, they watch a lot. The biggest stars on YouTube are not Mr. Beast and all these other creators that are, household names. It is YouTube kid channels, okay? Blippi's one of them. And we're talking like, these aren't like, amateur hour. These are IP that's sold at $100 million and stuff like that, okay? Yeah. Anyways, so they watch a lot and they get addicted, literally, right? Like you have to kind of, and they have like products, or like they have tools to protect kids and help you manage your screen time. But they watch a lot of content, and guess what they do when they grow up? They want to watch more YouTube. There's no other app. Facebook, they have what's called Facebook Messenger for kids, but that's just a messenger thing. Yeah. It is crazy. The long-term strategy of YouTube Kids that they had to have known about, but even if it wasn't like a long-term plan, just the benefit they got, because you're guaranteeing that your platform, when they come of age and they decide how they spend their time on their devices, that YouTube would be the place. Yeah. So when he talks about this, my thought is, it's always a battle to make sure you protect kids. One of the things he talks about is limiting how kids can swipe through. I thought that was interesting, on shorts, right? Yeah. On shorts, because that wasn't a thing when YouTube Kids first came out. Yeah. And then of course screen time or whatever. But still, at the end of the day, like as long as they make sure it's safe, parents will love it. They'll let their kids, because no judgment here. Some parents let their kids watch as much YouTube as they want, and so they'll be on there. You want to talk about crazy ABDs? Actually, not really ABDs, but session time. Because kids, what they do is they'll watch something, but they get distracted and they go to the next thing. Yeah. But the session times can be crazy. Real quick takeaway for creators listening to this. There's a button that says made for kids, not made for kids, that everybody has to sign up for. Like 3 or 4 years ago, it was a big deal. People were like, oh, I don't want to sign this. I don't want to like press it or whatever. It's such a good thing, because if you do have content that's made for kids, you definitely want to hit it. It might limit you on some advertising because there's some rules around it, but that's like a whole audience that it's crazy the amount of views you get. But even if you press not made for kids, your content can still go to the YouTube Kids app. No, I didn't know. Reason I know that is because most of my creator friends are not kid content creators. So when my kids see them on their YouTube Kids app and they know that I'm friends with them, I'll tell them, and they're like, I didn't know like it was on there. This is how smart the AI is.
Yeah.
If it determines it's wholesome content, it's family friendly, and it's safe for kids, they will put it in front of kids. So you might not know that you have an audience of kids watching, and I don't know how it looks in analytics, but yeah, if you can make, like it's like when I bring this up, I'm talking about bleeping out curse words, or like if you can get to family friendly, even if it's not made for kids and you have to press that button, there's a huge opportunity there because ads do still play and you do make money off of it. And remember, as a kid becomes your fan, they grow up and they become lifelong fans, and there's a lot of opportunity there. But my thought is this: it's one of their greatest strengths that nobody ever thinks about except them and the other platforms that can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, that last thing that you said is powerful, even outside of the context of just one creator, but the context of the platform, which is that and this is what you led off this whole discussion with, which is that having kids get exposed to the platform early makes them YouTube viewers in the long term. And that means that there's a long life ahead for YouTube as well, most likely, right? And so to me, that it's fascinating that he puts this second in all of his things that he's updating about. Like, why YouTube Kids? It's so random, right? But it shows you just A, how many kids are watching YouTube, and B, how many kids will continue to watch YouTube as they grow up. Let's get to the third one, moving right along, which is titled...
Third one or fourth one?
This is the third one, yeah, believe it or not. Powering the creator economy. He dropped some numbers, $55 billion of GDP. But the first sub-point is more ways for creators to earn. For every idea a creator dreams up, we provide the business model to match. This year, we'll continue to invest in different ways to earn, from shopping and brand deals to fan funding features like jewels and gifts. We know these are important revenue streams, especially outside the US, for creators like Santiago Matias, who uses Super Chat as a way for fans to influence the outcomes of his hit reality series. We're focused on making YouTube a premier shopping destination because viewers trust product and brand recommendations from creators like Vineet Malhotra, who drove millions of dollars in YouTube shopping GMV in 2025. With over 500,000 creators already in YouTube shopping, we're focused on frictionless commerce. Soon, when a creator like Christian Dominique recommends a product, you'll be able to buy it without leaving the YouTube app. Any thoughts about YouTube commerce and the ways that creators can earn?
Oh man, this is something they always try to do, like more and more and more. And I noticed he made a call out about brand deals, doing more brand deals.
Yeah, we're going to talk about brand deals second. Should I bring that up now just so we can talk about all as one big bunch?
No, we will talk about it, but I'm just saying still the one thing that makes YouTube monetization like the best is just the most oldest, boring thing. It's AdSense.
Yeah.
That's it. Even if short form creators don't get that, right? The majority of YouTubers that are long form, it's such a huge benefit, and it's only getting better in my opinion, right? And no other platform can keep it up. I was just talking to a big creator today that was saying, oh, they're making a lot of money on Facebook, right?
Interesting.
And they're like, yeah, the checks are like coming or whatever, because Facebook is kind of turning on a switch right now for, they went all in on Reels.
Yes.
There's no more videos now. It's all Reels. So what's interesting about that is you would assume they'd be doing the same thing on Instagram. Nope. I don't know why. Like, why don't you create revenue? This is something that all platforms have done that's not YouTube, and Facebook is really known for it. They'll open up the spigot for revenue for a short time. It could be as long as a year, but still it's not consistent, and it's just always up and down. YouTube, steady Freddy, AdSense, it's a craziest thing to me, because it's the thing that is the least exciting, but can be the most long-term lucrative if you do it right. And that's why long form is the way to go, including live streaming, because ads play, which I didn't know a lot of ads are playing on my live stream. So I might need to change that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the interesting things too here is, right, that the one place that short form can kind of compete, in my opinion, but only to a certain degree, is on brand deals. And he talks about that in the next subhead, which is accelerating brand deals. He says, brand partnerships are critical, so we're making it easier for influencer marketing agencies and brands to find and hire creators and execute successful campaigns through our Creator Partnerships Hub. We're also giving creators new tools to make these partnerships successful, like the ability to add a link to a brand site in the shorts or swap out a branded segment once a deal concludes, transforming back catalogs into recurring revenue streams. We're committed to building the most diversified economy in the world, one that turns a creator's unique vision into a sustainable global business.
Yeah, they want to tap into those brand deals because it's the only ad revenue they can't get, right? Because obviously they had AdSense, the commercials that play on your videos. But I think so much more money is probably made for the creators for sure on brand deals than anything you could make on AdSense. So they want to get into it. This goes way back. They bought up a company years ago called FameBit. FameBit was a brand. And actually, me and Sean got sponsored by FameBit in the early days. It was one of our first sponsors for video influencers.
Wow.
And so years later, YouTube buys up FameBit. And FameBit becomes Brand Connect. And Brand Connect was their brand deals wing. And they actually shut it down. Like they got rid of everybody, like dismantled it. And it came back as a digital thing. And was connecting all through, automated software and
like a platform.
AI. Yeah, it was a platform. And now I don't even know where it's going. So yeah, I'm interested. But with that swapping, with that, what do you call that?
The dynamic ad insertion.
Dynamic ad insertion. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But brand deals, especially for long form, is going to grow on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have a bet going about whether they're going to take a cut of those ones that you do the dynamic ad insertion for.
And I said they are.
You said they are. I say that they're not, but we'll see because it's still not available to most people. Let's get to number 4, the final point, which is supercharging and safeguarding creativity. The most contentious one. I'm just going to read it from under there, and I'll read the first subhead, which is that for years, AI has been the quiet engine behind our most important innovations, like recommending the next video for you to watch or helping us keep violative content off the platform. To build on this momentum, there are 4 areas we must get right in 2026. The first of which, he says, is the new creative frontier. Just as the synthesizer, Photoshop, and CGI revolutionized sound and visuals, AI will be a boon to the creatives who are ready to lean in. On average, more than 1 million channels used our AI creation tools daily in December. This year, you'll be able to create a short using your own likeness, produce games with a single text prompt, and experiment with music. Throughout this evolution, AI will remain a tool for expression, not a replacement.
Yeah.
The thing that stood out to me there was the fact that you're going to be able to basically deep fake yourself in shorts.
Oh, yeah. Like similar to ChatGPT's, what do you call Sora, where you can basically have AI create a shorts for you and use your likeness or whatever. To me, it's like whatever. I don't care because to me, it's AI slop. And I'm not going to get involved in AI slop. I know I have creator friends that are into it and like are doing well or whatever. But I'm like, anything someone can just do at their fingertips quickly using AI is going to get so competitive because everybody can do it. I'm all about the thing that no one else wants to do or is harder to do because that's where the opportunity is.
Or that everyone else is missing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why long form and live streaming is kind of my big focus, and that right now vlogging specifically. But the thing that actually stands out to me when it comes to AI and YouTube is how many creators are using AI and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
So it's one thing to do the AI slop, Sora-like videos for YouTube Shorts, and even like full AI like thumbnails. So when you think of Mr. Beast thumbnails, they look like AI. What's crazy to me is how many creators are just utilizing AI in their content creation process or using AI to help them make their thumbnails look better. I have a creator friend that put out a thumbnail that I thought was just a picture at the location of where he was vlogging and just like any other day. But no, he took a picture and used AI to completely transform it. And it looks real.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell the difference. In fact, I thought it was the real picture. When he told me it was AI and then he showed me the original picture, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And it's the, they used to say this, like all the AI experts or people like, in that world, you should just use AI. Get used to using it and get familiar with it. And I believe those people, in fact, this is a creator that were using it for the last 2 years are so far ahead, not because they're AI creators or they're creating like content that's completely artificial. It's because they know where it will work.
Yeah, they're putting a little extra sugar in it, just like a restaurant might, right? And you go there, you're just putting a little extra sauce, tiny bit.
Yeah, and so that to me is what's fascinating, that AI is so good. Nano Banana is so like advanced that now I can't tell. I know, like, it's funny. I talk to people and they say, how can you not know? No, some of this stuff for me is hard, but think about, we're like doing this. This is our profession.
Yeah.
But what about the average viewer? They don't know. And that is crazy, because the thing is, if you combine AI tools and not necessarily go all in on AI 100% content, and you use those for real content just to spruce things up or even help you edit or whatever. And I've seen, like, Judy, my wife, did a live stream, and then the YouTube AI tool popped out a shorts from her live stream, which was like an hour and a half. And that YouTube shorts got 100,000 views. So it's just cropping out a part. For whatever reason, it picked that because the algorithm thought, hey, there's a lot of engagement. Bam, titled it, made it, uploaded it, automatically 100,000 views.
And you're on the same wavelength as Neil here, because the next thing he talks about is AI transparency and protection. So he says it's becoming harder to detect what's real and what's AI generated. This is particularly critical when it comes to deepfakes. We clearly label content created by YouTube's AI products, and creators must disclose when they've created realistic, altered, or synthetic content. Because labels aren't always enough, we remove any harmful synthetic media that violates our community guidelines. We're also building on our foundation of Content ID, a system our partners have trusted for well over a decade, to equip creators with new tools to manage and use the use of their likeness in AI-generated content. Finally, we remain committed to protecting creative integrity by supporting critical legislation like the No Fakes Act. So he's getting at what you're talking about too, which is that this is a rapidly evolving landscape, and the level to which AI is being used and the ways in which it is being used is totally varied and all over the place and at all levels. And so YouTube doesn't even really necessarily know how to react, and they're just saying, we're kind of building in the infrastructure to start taking action when we start to have a better framework for how to approach it. But already we're working to kind of manage the usage of other people's likeness as just a place to begin.
I said the reason long form and live streaming especially have a leg up on AI is because, Nano Banana can't make like a 15-minute video. When will AI be able to make a 15-minute video?
I don't know the answer. I think it's going to be a while because of the nature of the infrastructure and the way that the architecture of AI video generation happens. Now, it depends on what you mean by make it. If you're talking about a wholly generated AI video, it could be a long time until there's an innovation that gets us to the next level. And the last time that happened was like 15 years ago, right? So it's possible that it's another 15 years or so, right? It could be next year.
Really, it's the cost, isn't it? That's like holding it back.
It's the cost and the compute and all of those things are really the same thing.
And consistently creating a character and making it look. I've seen like videos where people, I don't even know how they're doing it, where the character looks the same.
Yeah, and there are tools out there that let you have character consistency across different shots. And so you can generate shot by shot each one of those things. And then the question becomes, like at that point, you're just kind of creating a new form of art. And that's what Neil is saying here, right? It's like, how do you balance the two? Let me go and read the next one because I think it plays into this as well, which he talks about managing AI slop. He says, the rise of AI has raised concerns about low quality content, aka AI slop. As an open platform, we allow for a broad range of free expression when ensuring YouTube remains a place where people feel good spending their time. Over the past 20 years, we've learned not to impose any preconceived notions on the creator ecosystem. Today, once odd trends like ASMR, there it comes up again, and watching other people play video games are mainstream hits. But with this openness comes a responsibility to maintain the high quality viewing experience that people want. To reduce the spread of low quality AI content, we're actively building on our established systems that have been very successful in combating spam and clickbait and reducing the spread of low quality repetitive content. So right there, he's talking a lot about what you're saying as well, which is that, listen, not all AI content is created equal. And in that competition between the long form and maybe the short form that AI represents, everybody is using AI in a totally different way. So any thoughts across all three of these: transparency, protections, AI slop, and then the generative frontier that YouTube is helping enable?
Yeah, it's both exciting and scary. Exciting just because the tools are going to help creators. I mean, the thumbnails are so much better. Before, the thumbnails made me cringe a little because, again, they look like AI, but now you don't know if it's AI. It's just making the thumbnails even better. And people there's a friend of mine, his name's Anton. He has a real estate podcast. I help co-host it. And the thumbnails that are being made now because of AI are just like crazy. In fact, I think, and it's not just him, just like other friends of mine that say that they used to use thumbnail editors and now don't have to. and the thumbnails are better now because whatever they're thinking that they used to tell their thumbnail editors to do, now they can do it. The scary part of it is the unknown of it, right? So like
totally.
what creators are at risk? And I think the shorter your content, the more risky it is. Also, deep fakes. I think that people stealing your IP, it's just rampant, just crazy. So all that's to me that's concerning, and you have to be on the lookout for it. Yeah, it's just like, like with trademarks, you have to police your own trademarks. With AI, I'm not saying everyone's out to get you or whatever. I'm saying pay attention to it. Like, see what the capabilities are, especially if you're a short form, and don't just get left high and dry, because what I have seen in the past in this game of being a creator, and this happened on YouTube, is your life can change in an instant.
Yep. This
has nothing to do with AI. This is just an algorithm. For many years, Judy's and I's AdSense was going up, like making bank, okay, and doing really well, getting millions of views and making I don't know, it was like over $15,000 in AdSense at the time. Literally one algorithm change dropped our income over 70%.
Wow. Whoa.
Within 30 days.
Wow.
Now it was like overnight when we saw like the drop, because of course the views went down and all that kind of stuff. Luckily, our vlog channel was going the other direction because of algorithm change. But imagine if I didn't have that, okay? So this is kind of going back to what we talked about the Seahawks, like kind of like playing on all fronts.
Yes.
Don't just be like isolated to this one thing. It is just one of the necessities of being a creator, because if you're just doing one thing one way on one platform, even, I know we talked about YouTube, you could be putting yourself at risk. And I think AI could be like 100x more dangerous. So that's why I like to obsess over it. Not because I like AI. I use it and I think it's a useful tool. I just don't want to be left like I was before, where I had 70% drop in income, which I think with AI could totally happen. That's why I'm asking about 15-minute AI videos, because when that happens, guess what? Anything in the 15-minute range has tons of competition.
Yeah, and he ends this on a similarly kind of hopeful note, which is that and this is something that you've echoed as well, which is, I'm often asked to predict who the most important creator on YouTube will be in 5 or 10 years. My answer is always the same. It's someone you've never heard of, and that person is starting their channel today. And that's what makes me so energized to continue building the stage for this generation and the ones to come.